Okay, Akash, can you just start with the introduction first?
Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Akash Mamu. I was born and brought up in district Jhanjino, Rajasthan, and I did my schooling from there. Thereupon, I did my graduation in law from National Law University and Judicial Academy, Assam. Thereupon, I pursued my master's in law, and after completing my master's in law, I worked with the Government of Haryana Education Department for 2 years and 5 months, and thereupon, I have been preparing for competitive examinations.
Okay, so first thing I want to know about you is that why you chose law as a profession, like when you thought that you want to be in this career.
Uh, Ma'am, the exercising choice for law as a profession or a career was done after my 12th standard examination. And I was informed from my uncle, who was a sitting judge at that point of time, that there's an examination called Common Law Admission Test.
Right.
And given the characteristics that I possessed and my inclination towards reading, he suggested me that I should undertake this examination. And then I found that it was a very right choice made, and then I pursued this field of education and the profession thereafter.
What do you have a vision related to it?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
What is
I beg your
your
pardon.
vision? Like if you get selected and you want to be in this career and you chose to be in this domain. So what is your mission and vision right now?
My vision working as a law officer with HPCL would be that it would give me an opportunity to serve the one of the biggest corporations of the country,
Mhm.
and which is solely not profit motivated. Another factor which drives me or inclines me to make this choice or to prefer this occupation or job is that it will also give me an opportunity to work towards the development of the country as well as the society that I live in. So it will give me a chance to give back to the society if I'm working with HPCL.
You know the difference between mission and vision? Like you're giving the answer. What is the actual difference between these two words?
The vision is the far-sighted objective or the idea that a person or the corporation possesses.
Okay.
That and the mission is comparatively a short-sighted projection that a company or a person has.
Okay. Akash, what have been your hobbies so far?
I've been interested in running and cooking, ma'am.
Running and cooking.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes. I mean,
So what you like to cook and all that? Like what kind of a dishes?
the hobby, I inculcated this hobby during the COVID-19 lockdown that was imposed in year 2020. And
Okay.
I found myself interested in cooking purely vegetarian dishes, particularly vegan dishes. I found myself to be very interested in, and I pursued this hobby for some time, and then I shifted from vegan cooking to vegetarian cooking back. But
Right
it was
now, there are many people who want to go for vegan and all that, right? So why this approach is coming? Like why you are into this that you want to be vegan and everyone should go for this type?
my interest that it arose was after watching a few documentaries, and there is a person called Gary Yourofsky who made a speech in Canada about the sensitivity of animals particularly and all the living organisms that have nervous system that can sense the brutality that is committed against them.
Okay.
And it has been very well highlighted in the documentaries that the mass scale uh, brutality or the, what do I say, um, extraction of meat and dairy products that is done from
Mm-hmm.
the animals, it is against the nature that they normally have, and they are forcefully fed so as to produce more. So
Okay.
that seems ethically incorrect at some point of time.
Right. So Akash, what's been your strength?
I think of myself as a very perseverant
Mm-hmm.
and adaptable person.
Okay. Any other situation where you can count that? Yeah, I was an adaptable person.
I undertook my graduation in the state of Assam. I was living in Guwahati while I was 18 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and I made all the arrangements by myself.
Okay.
I was fortunate enough to make it a good place for so as to survive, and I fondly remember those 5 years of my life. So
Mm-hmm.
I think I got adapted to the situation very easily, and I made friends with all the people who were there.
Okay.
Thereupon, also I shifted to city of Chandigarh, where I lived for 2 years and 5 months, and I found myself again very comfortable in the place. So language is being a barrier prima facie, but it did not come so. I learned Assamese as well as
You
Punjabi.
chose a word perseverant, like for your strength. It's a very strong word. Like it is like face someone very difficulties and then you have gone through to that. So why you chose this particular word? Like you could choose yourself to be dedicated, social, or any of the strength can be there. Determined, a simple word. So why only perseverant? Many people come and say this word.
I chose this word, ma'am, because I feel perseverant is the word that specifies that even if I do not see any results outcoming from the acts that I do, I still see myself, I still see the goal that is might not be coming into the steps or might not be tangible at the time being, but I still see that it would be fruitful and it would be before me at some point of time. So it might take some long time, but not having any outcome in the first place, I still keep like to keep going for it, and that has very well exemplified by my own life. So I think perseverant is the word that I choose for myself.
And what's your weakness?
A weakness of mine would be that at some point of time, due to any circumstances, if I cannot accomplish a task that has been endowed upon me, anxiety at times takes over me. And if I have, by due to any circumstances, if I'm not regular to my physical exercises, it takes a it makes me a little anxious to or pushes me to towards perfectionism, which is high, at times unattainable. So that is one weakness that I find about myself.
Okay, one last question for you. Like you're going, if you have to choose, you want to be a hard worker or you want to be a smart worker?
Ma'am, can I choose a bit of both?
No, that you have to decide an answer. Like if I give you an option, like you want to choose a hard worker or you want to choose a smart worker.
It would, it would, if I have to choose just one, it would be contingent upon the situation. If I'm running short on time, I would choose the smart work, and if I have plenty of time at my disposal, I would choose, I would go the hard way because it would end up in being more perfect outcome of the act that I would undertake.
See, we all make fun of the animal donkeys and all that, right? They are the most hard worker creatures on this planet, if I would say, because obviously they have to choose a lot of words and everything they do. So why
Right.
we make fun of it, like even if it is a hard worker creation?
It has just come down through generations that the animal donkey has been tagged as uh, an animal which is not smart per se,
Mm-hmm.
and that has termed as a joke, but that is maybe the quality which it possesses, which has not very often appreciated, that it can work so hard and without giving up. So I think it's a very well, it's a reserved joke that should be eradicated or should not be made fun of.
Okay. Akash, your way of expressing and everything was okay, right? The things which you lack is like just in the generic introduction. Like I just asked you very general questions so far, right? So first is your facial expressions are missing. Second is like the way we interact. We want to make other person into the conversation. That thing is missing in you, right? Second is
Right.
when you try to give the answers and all that, like mission and vision. Don't go for an elaborative. Try to have an approach build and then answer. Like if I say your vision is, ma'am, I want to support my nation or something. Like I want to go in a good direction. I want to learn something new things. So your vision should be
Right.
very clear and prompt. Take a pause of 10 seconds before you answer and then actually answer the question. Don't be in a hurry to answer because it look like you are in a hurry and you just say whatever comes to your mind. Draft an answer into your mind and then speak, right? Hobbies is like
Right.
running and cooking, very simple ones. The questions can be like in cooking, if you are really fond of it, what are the type of Mexican food you like, what type of Italian foods you like, what you cooked the last dish, right? So something related to sugar ingredients and people are into master chef and all that. So if anyone is into cooking, that person can ask you. And related to running, the hobbies can be like questions can be like why running, what is the difference between running and jogging, right? So what is good for your health? Do you think the aged people should run or they should jog or they should walk? Like what is good for you? And how many hours do you invest in a day for running purpose? Like, do you do it daily, or you are just speaking for the sake of speaking? So such questions can be there from the hobbies section, right? So your hobbies are
Correct.
very simple. I mean to say, you don't have any good, or you can say extraordinary. Because if it was running, gardening, there are lots of questions related to it. Okay.
Right.
Next, like you should be ready that yeah, I invest some hours into running, so that should be there. Okay, every day.
No, I actually do. So
Yeah. Next is like why law and all this is a profession. So before that, my uncle told me for this examination and all that, it should be like it was inside you that this passion arose. You had an interest and you wanted to, you have some kind of scenarios, you watch some people going for this area, and you want to work like where you have seen some movies or something from where you got an inspiration, your favorite lawyer, right? So what was that
correct.
moment in your life you chose, like, yeah, I want to be into this profession? Because lawyer is something that you have to be very strong, determined, you have to stand for a point, right? Such
Right.
thing should be there. Like, I could not see that thing in your answer, that spark in your answer, the differentiator, right? So it was a very vague
Right.
and a common answer. Try to make that. And even in your introduction, try to have a good introduction where you have a proper point wise, like, good morning, ma'am. I'm Akash. I come from this and this city. I've done my graduation from this and this university, like whatsoever is their area of interest or this. In law, you can point out your favorite topics or something you can have a discussion on. And then apart from it, if you have done some kind of a like something in your college days or something, like you have some internship, like some kind of a thing, that is a differentiator where you have a discussion. Right now, your introduction was very vague and simple. Your answer why law, it was very simple. Everything was just this is stagnant, and your facial expressions. So make it some of the changes. Try to practice it in front of mirror. First thing,
Okay.
okay. Make your own videos like short clips, and see, I am interacting you for the first time. If someone else
Right.
will interact to you, you will be able to see like यहाँ पे मैं अच्छा smile कर सकता था, मैं इसका आंसर ऐसे दे सकता था. Why I spoke like that? Because when the moment your interview is over, now you would be like, मैं इसका आंसर ये दे देता ना better होता. Now you have
Right.
time to prepare. तो वो चीजों पे अभी करो. अभी तो मैंने बहुत बेसिक पूछा है. Then the comes the case studies and all that. बाकी अच्छा लगाए अभी आपने मजिंदर सर के साथ.
जी जी, मैं 2 बार उनसे वार्तालाप कर चुका हूँ इस मामले में।
Okay, you have attended, right? So go on
Right.
attending today also, like have the maximum till 13th, how many you can have it, right? So that
Yes, ma'am. I'll
your
try.
way of questions and that can actually improve. Okay?
All right, ma'am.
Yeah. All the best. Take care.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Have a good day.